Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Nemesis Gaming League. It's your boy Gallium, and I'm here with a very special production today. Two of the best teams in Prospect going head to head for a clash of the ages to see who will snag that number one seed. I'm joined here by Ventus. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I am super excited to see this matchup. It won't necessarily determine the one seed. Origin does have a little bit of a lead. They're currently sitting at 13-3, whereas the Blackhawks are at 11-5. But Blackhawks really wanting to move up in the standings. They are in a four-way tie, it looks like, with the Warhawks, Velocity, and Vipers. So any win here gives them a big boost in the seeding wise because even though they're at four seed, they can be two seed just after this game. So it should be a really good match. All both these teams really solid. Obviously, Origin, yeah, Rockerman. I think Hunzer still is the starter. I don't
Yeah,
think they've
yeah,
switched it
yeah.
up, and Sweeney, and so that
hmm
Origin roster has been very good. Blackhawks also very good. Kosh, Perky, and Lo-Fi. I mean, that's a super solid roster. I know I have Kosh in my Nemesis fantasy, so I'm really hoping he pops off for me tonight. And I mean, otherwise, it should be a really good match. Just because Kosh is on my team, I'll give the Blackhawks the
A
three
word?
two in best of seven
Yeah, you're not biased at
or
all, right, dude?
best of five.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you're
not
not
not at
biased.
all, not at all.
Okay, okay. Heard that. Well, so in this matchup, Blackhawks can actually get the first seed. If they sweep Origin tonight, they win their next game and Origin loses their next game. So, and Origin plays Hypernova on Wednesday. So it's not completely out of the question that they could slip down further than the one seed. But with that being said, I know you threw your prediction out there a little bit, but I kind of want to say that I think the Blackhawks are going to win personally. I think they're more battle tested. Origin just got Rockerman back on his computer. I'm not saying, that it's going to make like a super big difference like before and after, but it does definitely help. And it's definitely a little bit, as a player, like weird to get your player back. You know what I'm saying? Like he's back to 100% Rockerman, and you have to like adjust to that. So Origin seems to be adjusting well. They've absolutely curb stomped teams on their way to this game, and now facing the Blackhawks is probably their biggest test yet. Last time they faced the Blackhawks, they did sweep them. So it history might repeat itself here, or with the new addition of Juice, we could see a totally different game here.
Yeah. I'm looking for both these teams to come out swinging. Both these teams are going to come out the gate very aggressive. I can already assume that. I mean, Kosh and Lo-Fi are going to be all over the pitch. I mean, Rockerman going to be all over the pitch as well as we are going to kick game number one away. I mean, Origin in the black, Blackhawks in the white.
Wow. I mean, probably the worst color scheme matchup of the season. I mean, would you agree, Ventus?
I mean, very unfitting as the Blackhawks are in the white and Origin is in the black. Seems a little bit off-putting to me, but we'll work with what we can here.
All right. Well, you know what? Both these teams are kind of getting warm themselves because it took them a while to get in this lobby. So, I'll give them benefit of the doubt early as we see Origin threatening early, and Juice is using the Dominus. I haven't seen him use the Dominus. He's usually an Octane player, so we'll see how that affects anything as he gets a nice touch. Rockerman up with it, sends it to the backboard. Perky sends it to the side. Ever since Rockerman got back on his PC, he has not lost a single series. So if the Blackhawks want to win this, they're going to have to play the best game of this season. And I think what it comes down to is Perky. Perky's the wild card. One day he's looking like the best player in prospect. The next day he's looking like me. So you really have to get Perky going. And I think instead of him being his normal solo play self, I think he has to adapt to what Origin are giving him.
I might be a little bit confused here because I thought you said, some days he's playing the best in the prospect and some days he's playing like you, but I could, isn't that the same thing? They're both the best
No,
player in
no,
prospect.
no. No, no, no. Ventus, you can't glaze on Nemesis cast, bro. You know this. You know this. We can only glaze the players on the pitch. As we see Hunter taking a nice touch. Tosh up with it. Can't get a touch. Rockerman sends it down. Perky. Beautiful play in his own right. Juice can't pre-flip into that, and Perky doesn't have a whole lot of boost to work with. Goes for a demo. It seems like Blackhawks can't really get a play going So Origin's kind of sitting back, letting it all happen, and Rockerman's going to get the scoring off to a roaring start.
It's a great shot. It's a bar down, so unfortunately Lo-Fi gonna kind of get the own goal here, but he has to play that shot on. A great placement for Rockerman. Unfortunate for Lo-Fi, but overall Origin really showing up early. I mean, Hunzer and Sweeney have both been going for a lot of these bumps, disrupting the Blackhawks play, not allowing them to really break out of their half.
Oh.
But as I say that, Juice Lo-Fi with a great read off the corner, and he's gonna put that one into tie up the scoring.
You know, he did own goal that last goal. You know, I'm not going to put too much on him for that one, but I mean, what a way to respond, especially off kickoff. I mean, it seemed like Origin kind of had this game in the bag, 7 shots to 2 so far. And I think the thing with Origin that trips a lot of people up is, wait a second, the ball might just be rolling in the back of the net. We have kickoff goals galore here, Ventus.
Yeah, just I don't even really an interesting loss from Kosh, not really working out in his favor. Is Sweeney going to get a little extra touch on there to put it behind that last man back from Blackhawks, or the cheater from Blackhawks, excuse me. And I mean, it's just a kickoff strat that did not pan out for the Blackhawks. You can't say too much about that. I like the effort that the Blackhawks are putting in. They're trying to change up their kickoffs, trying to gain that possession, but it's just not going to work out for them this time.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that I was going to say before I was rudely interrupted by Air Sweeney was the thing that trips teams up about Origin. Okay, that might just be in the net. Matter of fact, it is in the net. And the Blackhawks have conceded another big goal off of a very big mistake.
It's a great touch by Sweeney, just able to perfectly catch it right in his car path, allow him to get that second touch, put it on target, and a great counterattack goal from Origin once again. I mean, Hunzer not really having to do much, having that 36 points, but Sweeney coming out very strong early in this series, looking to prove that, you know, we can't forget about him in this Origin squad. You know, a lot of people talk about Rockerman and Hunzer for his solo plays, Rockerman for his demos, and I mean, Sweeney kind of feels like he gets left out, so he doesn't want to show us up too much, but he's already showing out in game 1.
Yeah, and you know, if I could talk about Origin for 2 seconds, I mean, every time I try to compliment their gameplay, it seems like another shot is being sent towards the Blackhawks neck. They really need to get it together, but wait a second, it's a one-on-one opportunity. Caution. Hunter, hello? Hunter just let it go past him. I don't know if that was like some BM stuff or if he just genuinely got sauced that hard, but nonetheless, Kosh gonna 50 it up. Perky can't get to that one. Hunter sends it to the side. Juice gonna read that one, and now Rockerman's last back. Hunter is gonna get boost and trust in his management member and the creator of the Nemesis Gaming League, Rockerman. And honestly, so far, Ventus, I don't really see any way that Blackhawks win this series. So, but just based off how they're playing now, because Origin, they don't try to control the midfield, and that's what most teams try to do. They are either in their zone playing like all 3 of them back, like they're basically like 3 Eskimos in an igloo, all right? And then they're either all 3 back or all 3 attacking, and they switch back to back, and it's really hard to get a read on it. So I think for the Blackhawks, they're really just going to have to rely on their slow, methodical plays. As Hunter, the all-star, going to get one in the back of the net.
See a couple of missed touches there. Perky not able to get that one, saving his flip, and then Kosh not able to get that touch either. Very awkward for him, just trying to block Rockerman and then having to block Hunzer as well. Not really knowing which of them is going to shoot it. And I mean, Origin showing out very strong, out shooting 12-4 here against the Blackhawks. But they have shown some promise. Kosh almost had that nice goal there as he absolutely sauced Hunzer earlier. But unfortunately, he just couldn't get the flick on target, and it kind of just stunted the entire offense. Blackhawks were not able to get anything there. And it was just a little bit disappointing for me, especially with how well he was able to take that dribble, just not being able to finish the job. And it seems like that's what the Blackhawks have lacked doing so far in this series. They just haven't finished their scoring opportunities on the offensive side of the ball. Once they're able to do that, I can definitely see them coming back into the series.
So they're kind of just driving circles around the Blackhawks right now. Their rotations are looking so clean. And I'm pretty sure Hunter and Rockerman have been like friends for like years and years and years. So if they don't know how each other plays by now, I'd be kind of concerned, not going to lie. As Rockerman going to pop it up. Air Sweeney going to get a nice touch, and the 2-time MVP making a statement.
Yeah, I mean, just once again, another a great touch by Rockerman, to be honest. And Air Sweeney just kind of only had the bottom corner to place it. Cautious, not able to get a touch. It looked a little bit of a ghost touch there. But I mean, Rockerman, a great pass and a good follow up from Sweeney. But overall, Origin very dominant series. I mean, they outshot 16-4. They added what, two or four more shots in the time that I said it in the last 30 seconds. I mean, Origin just absolutely dominant, especially on the offensive side of the pitch, able to hold that midfield very well. No one player necessarily standing out too well. We've obviously seen Air Sweeney have those 3 goals. But I mean, Hunzer and Rockerman also putting up a bunch of pressure on their own with those bumps, demos, those solo plays. Rockerman having an assist as well at the end there, and 7 shots of his own. And overall, just a very clean series from Origin, a little bit messy from the Blackhawks, as it looks like we have a crashed computer on the side of Blackhawks. So we'll get to chat a little more. I mean, I'll talk a little bit more about what I want the Blackhawks to kind of do in this next game. I
I mean,
think
you
that
are the
they,
expert. You are the
yeah.
Titan League phenomenon.
Oh, of course, of course. I'm just such a knowledgeable guy about Rocket League that I have all of the insights to every single possible play. I mean,
There you go.
nothing is out of my um purview, if you will. And I mean, the Blackhawks really just struggled to finish those shot attempts. They haven't really been able to maintain that midfield well. And I think it can kind of stem from they're not maintaining their possession. A lot of the time, they're just having to throw the ball away and adhere to the Origin pressure, and it kind of just works like a boa constrictor. The more you just throw away the possession, the more you do that, the more Origin can just go and take their boost. They can bump, they can demo. It allows them so much more space. It allows them to control the entire field instead of having to fight Blackhawks for the space in their third and their half. And they Origin have pretty much just played pick up in the midfield. Blackhawks haven't forced them to really work for any of their possessions. They've just allowed Origin to receive the ball with open arms. And that's the one thing that Blackhawks really need to work on. These solo plays out of Perky and Kosh have been fine, but they still haven't netted anything. They either need to pass it to the outlets in the midfield to get the offense going, or they need to hold possession better. We saw it a little bit with Kosh on that dribble play, and I want to see it more from them this game.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it the one time they did control it. It was Kosh, and I mean, he did very well for himself. As wait a second, he, almost got a double there, but Juice started off the scoring hot, and he switched back to the Octane. This might be bad looks for Origin.
Yeah, I mean, just a very speedy play from Kosh, able to beat both Rockerman and Air Sweeney, and it is just a very fast, good play from the side of Kosh, able to just beat the Origin defenders and really open up the scoring. And it's another kickoff goal, so are we too surprised?
Yeah, I'm not really surprised at this point. I think that's an Origin special is kickoffs. They either get scored on almost immediately off kickoffs or they're doing the scoring. So you see a little bit of a double commit going out here. It seems like Kosh and Perky are just having some communication issues so far. I feel like they're both trying to play the same role as of right now. So in terms of that, I think you really should have used that computer crash as a chance to talk to your teammate and ask, okay, where do you want me? What should I do in certain situations? Because I mean, they're crossing lines right here as Hunter tries to put it top left, can't really do so. Juice can't get another touch, and now Air Sweeney gets it back the other end. Rockerman misses his touch. Kosh sends it over to Perky. Perky can't get there as Hunter makes a great defensive play. Juice gonna fake out both the Origin players, and Juice sends it down. He might have another one here. Air Sweeney, very nice play. Perky pops it high. Very good pop, but unfortunately, it's for the side of Origin. As you know what, it's a little bit better here. I feel like the roles are kind of reversed so far. I mean, Origin's kind of banging it down to them as of right now, but this could be bad as Hunter makes a great play to even the scoring.
Yeah, fortunately, just a great 50 there coming out from Rockerman. Perky a little bit too overzealous in his teammates' ability to win that ball there, and having to make a very awkward read off the ceiling and the back wall bounce. And unfortunately, the Origin going to capitalize on that. Hunter gets his first goal of the series. And more to come from him as Hunter, a very good player. I did see Kosh and Perky. There was certain communication there between those two where they're able to leave the ball for each other and not just double commit. And so maybe the communication cleaning up a little bit, allowing them to keep more of the midfield presence, as this one has been a much more midfield heavy game, as there have only been 3 shots out in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, total complete switch, and you gotta have to be prepared for that kind of switch, especially on a stream game. Just there's a lot of strategy that goes involved with how teams want to adjust, and you could adjust and it not work out, but it seems like for both these teams, their adjustments are working out just fine so far. As Kosh can't get to that one, Rockerman chasing this ball down, gonna get Perky in the process. Hunzer sends it down the sidewall, but Kosh gonna get a nice 50. Air Sweeney up with it. Hunzer tries to follow it up. Unfortunately, cannot get the touch there. Air Sweeney off the backboard. Rockerman gonna try to shoot, but he ends up giving it right back to Air Sweeney, as he's just gonna dribble it all around the Blackhawks zone. They have control of the boost and the ball right now, but wait, this could be bad here, as never mind, Hunzer gets a bump, and I mean, that's just what Origin does. Is a great save from Perky, actually saving that goal, but Hunter's up with it. Great save from Juice. Now, this is exactly what the Blackhawks need. They need some resilience here, because that was almost surely a goal, Ventus.
Some great resilience coming out of them, like you said, and great defense, a great save by Perky, to be fair. And we finally saw them play patient enough there. Origin didn't get a great touch, and they're able to pick it up in the midfield. And a great shot coming out by Kosh, but it
Oh,
just off target. And a pass coming out to Perky. Perky looking for the double tap, not going to be on target either. Some good offense coming out as well from Blackhawks. A much more even game, even with that Origin pressure.
yeah. I mean, you see they're finally going back to their roots. They've discovered how they want to play, and now you just have to execute it. As Juice is trying to 50 out Rockerman. Rockerman just misses the ball. Perky sends it into the corner. Kosh off the backboard. Hunter sends it up for his teammate, and now Air Sweeney with very little boost tries to make a play. Kosh gets a demo on Rockerman, but wait, this could be bad. Hunter last to defend. He's going to maybe get demoed, but a great pre-jump from Hunter. Rockerman misses that ball, or we can call it a tactical fake. Rockerman sends it to the side. He's going to try to continue this play, but unfortunately, Kosh is there to stop it. Blackhawks have awakened a little bit here. Can they capitalize? They're going to need to win this game if they want any chance of the series, as Perky gets one, can't get it past Hunter. Now Juice is the last to defend. Juice gets one, gets a nice 50. Now Kosh is up with it. He doesn't get a great touch, but Perky trying to beat Hunter. He gets a nice 50. Now Kosh, 0 boost to his name. He can't get a double. And Juice and Perky are both very low boost. They're going to have to corral boost here if they want any chance of doing anything in the future. Perky, nice play. Unfortunately, gets 50'd out by Rockerman, but a great play on the backboard from Juice. He's going to try to get a 50. Unfortunate 50 from him. And now Rockerman takes this ball. He's going to corral it. Nice flick from him. He tries to get another touch off the sidewall, but unfortunately can't. Perky, a nice shot. Can Hunter save it? Oh, he gets a little bit of an awkward save, but Rockerman racing back to save it. Kosh accidentally backflips, and it seems like this game is probably going to go to overtime if Perky, opts to keep it on the up in the air. But it seems like both teams want to go into overtime, and I would look out for a kickoff goal here, if I'm going to be honest. Origin love kickoff goals, but we've made it past that point, and now it's overtime here. Who do you have taking this game?
I definitely have the Blackhawks. They've looked a lot better. They've maintained possession. They've forced Origin into really tough spots, and they've sped up their pace of play, which is a big thing that has thrown Origin off, as well as Lo-Fi, Perky, and Kosh have all become a lot faster to the ball, really making it Origin pressured and forcing touches that aren't great, and Blackhawks are able to capitalize off of that, as they have been able to break out of their half due to that.
Yeah, 100%, but you can never count Origin out. I feel like every time that someone doubts Origin, they just score another goal. So, I mean, we'll see if they can't get this overtime win and extend their lead on this series, but Air Sweeney and Rockerman are going to try to do that right now. Rockerman sends it down. Juice, an unfortunate touch. Air Sweeney's going to be able to capitalize. Kosh now. He can't get more than that. Now Juice pops it high. Perky with a little bit of boost. Can he make the play? And Perky, he gets the overtime winner.
A great pass coming out from Juice Lo-Fi, and Perky, all he's got to do is just place it around the last defender, who's having to pre-jump across net, just trying to get a touch. And overall, I mean, I was correct. The Blackhawks did end up taking it in overtime. The offense clicked a little bit for them. The defense, the midfield presence, all of it kind of worked out, and they've kind of found their footing. And now what they have to do is build off of that, the foundation that they've laid in this game, and continue to be that fast, aggressive team who is able to punish Origin for their overcommits on offense and their lackluster touches when they do happen.
Need I remind the audience that Origin against the Warhawks with Lucky, by the way, and Rockerman on a laptop lost 9-2 in game one and then won the next 3 games in the series. So if you're going to count Origin out, I would highly advise against it. As Rockerman, a nice touch from him. Perky seems like he's playing much better. A much needed goal from him. He finally is feeling himself here as that one might float in. Rockerman, nice play. Now that Perky's activated, this Blackhawks team might be a little more dangerous, but Rockerman, he hasn't really made the impact that I thought he was going to make, but it turns out, if you demo all the cars, it's kind of hard to hit the ball into the back of the net.
And he's definitely added his value in those demos. He's opened the path a lot of the time for Air Sweeney to really pop off, especially in that game one. We didn't see it as much in game two, as it was much more a midfield pressure fest, as neither team was really able to gain much momentum, and we weren't able to see Rockerman with a lot of shots coming out, or a lot of demos coming out, as we see a shot coming out there. But I think that once Origin gets into a groove and they start making that offensive pressure, we see a lot more value coming out from Rockerman, as he's just able to get those very valuable demos and allow that pressure to really constrict the defense.
Oh, 100%. It's Juice, a nice read, and Perky gonna put it in the back of the net, and Origin down early.
Yeah, I mean, a good 50 coming out from Juice, and the double tap to get it around Rockerman. We see a bump. Maybe it looks like a bump on Air Sweeney. Perky able to get there first, and the Blackhawks go up 1-0. And once again, we see just 2 shots to 0 shots on the side of Origin. The Blackhawks really maintaining the midfield presence and really forcing Origin to be kind of a little bit passive and not themselves that we saw in game one.
Yeah, 100%. And something about this Origin team that I kind of admire is they're all, very established players in the Nemesis Gaming League. They've been here for a minute, as Hunter, one of those players, is going to get his first goal of the game.
It's a great pass by Air Sweeney, pre-jumping the touch from Kosh, and Hunter having so much faith in his teammate to almost pre-jump. He cheats very hard in the direction of the pinch that's gonna occur, and he's just right on the money with his prediction, and he's gonna put that one home to even up the scoring. And even though Origin only have 1 shot, they have equalized the scoring and equalized the momentum on the side of Blackhawks.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like all 3 of these players, they do something really important that I feel like it attributes to their success. I mentioned it earlier. You talked about Rockerman's impact on the field. I feel like all 3 of these players, they don't play for stats. They play to win. Stats are just secondary to them, but Kosh says otherwise. He says, give me 1 more goal for the season. One of the best shooters and prospects showing out again.
But you talked about unselfish play, and we see Perky going for a bump on Air Sweeney, that last defender in net, not allowing him to put any pressure on Kosh taking that shot, and Kosh able to just shoot at almost an empty net because there was nobody in his face, forcing him to shoot at an awkward angle or at a specific place on net. He's just able to generate all the power in the world, and a very good play coming out from both Kosh and Perky, and a big one for the Nemesis fantasy enjoyers.
Oh yeah. Who happened to be named Ventus. You're loving this right now. Listen, I already got kicked out of the playoffs. Unfortunately, my team didn't do anything, but I wish I had all 6 of these players on my fantasy team. I would have been cooking, let me tell you what. Especially, you have 2 of the best value players on the pitch currently. Kosh, for his MMR, is the best pound-for-pound prospect player, and Hunter, for his MMR, is a very close second. He's absolutely spectacular as the ball is being sent into the back of the net off of maybe an own goal.
Yeah, I think that was an own goal off of Perky. It bounces off the back wall or off the post there, and Perky just gonna pop it right around Juice Lo-Fi and not able to get a touch. And such an unfortunate a turn of events for the Blackhawks. Is it seems like the Origin pressure really got to them in that moment. Perky rushing his touch way too fast, and not able to get it off target and make the save. But just as I say that, a pass coming out from Kosh and a great shot coming out by Lo-Fi just to give the Blackhawks another lead, and the scoring continues.
You know, did I mention this? I probably didn't. These two teams do not like each other, by the way. I mean, we talk about prospect beef all the time, but these two teams, I mean, they're fighting for the top position in prospect. I know Origin feels disrespected by the power rankings, and the Blackhawks feel disrespected by Origin. But Perky, I mean, on that own goal, you got to kind of feel for the kid. I mean, what an unfortunate goal, but I mean, the resilience from the Blackhawks is unlike anything I've seen against Origin. This is their biggest test yet, and I'm really curious if they're going to overcome this or maybe falter a little bit towards the end.
It'll definitely be a little bit of a tell for how these teams are going to do or perform in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the playoffs and play-ins are a whole nother beast, but the teams who can perform against the other top teams in the regular season have a good shot of performing well in the playoffs against the other top teams. And we see some pressure coming out from Origin, just unfortunately not going to uh, end in a goal.
Yeah, unfortunate for the side of Origin. I mean, they're giving it all they have. They're trying to get these shots on net. They are out shooting the Blackhawks, but only by one shot as Juice gets it past almost the entire Origin defense. Hunter last to defend. Perky is going to take a little bit of a dribble here, and Rockerman tries to get another touch. Kosh can't find that one, and now it's time for Juice to cook as it's off the backboard. Juice sends it to Perky. A very risky play, but I don't mind it personally. It could have definitely caught them off guard, but it seems like now they're going to benefit off of that back pass. But Perky, nice play from him. He seems invigorated. I mean, the game one Perky was not the best, but I mean, since then, he's just been playing phenomenal as Kosh off the backboard. Can he find the double? No, he cannot, but it's a nice fake. Perky up with one. Can he get the double? Almost does. And that would have been a highlight reel goal, but all they need to do is stall out. And I think the best way to stall out is not letting their foot off the gas like they've been doing as Kosh sends it up. Is anyone there to make a touch? Perky sends a floater towards net. Hunter has to use half of his boost to save that one. Juice sends another one into the other corner. I think it was intended to be a shot as Kosh is up with it. Tries to get a flip reset goal, but Juice can't get there. Rockerman keeps it up. Can Origin keep this one up? Juice, a nice demo, and Rockerman lets it hit the floor. Blackhawks are one win away from maybe, potentially, taking down the 1 seed.
Very good play at the end, forcing Origin into very awkward spots. Origin not able to even mount a counteroffensive just because of how many saves they were forced to make. And I mean, unfortunately for me and Kosh, he wasn't able to get that 0 second goal
You
that was
you
saved.
were the worst. Oh my gosh.
I'm showing no bias. I mean, Origin did play very well. I'm very happy with their play. I think that they just haven't been able to lock down Blackhawks into their half enough, and they've allowed Blackhawks to break out too easily. They haven't amounted enough of a midfield presence where they are forcing Blackhawks into positions where they give them the ball and they can kind of incorporate that constricting offense once again. And I mean, I'm sure we'll see it again next game, as we've seen it time and time again where Origin have started to force Blackhawks into a corner, but then one solo player, one great 50 comes out, and then all of a sudden Origin are a little bit overcommitted. So hopefully they clean up a little bit on that, and it should help them maintain their offense.
Yeah, 100%. And I think for the first time this season, Origin is going to have to adjust to the other team. I mean, the way that they're playing right now isn't working the greatest. It's not working, right? They're still doing pretty all right for themselves, but I mean, if you want to beat the Blackhawks, you got to really get to their heads. As Perky takes a dribble, tries to get a 50, an excellent save from Hunter at the goal line. Hunter and Kosh, all-star teammates along with me, and it was so fun playing with both of them. They're absolutely great guys, and they're very good at Rocket League, as you can see right now. So I'm just curious who out of both of them is going to be the better player in the series and which team is going to take this one, Ventus.
Think that even though Hunter has played a little bit better, I think that as a whole, the Blackhawks have just meshed a lot better. Perky has really stepped up. Juice Lo-Fi has really became that solid rock of a third man, allowing Kosh and Perky to kind of play their aggressive play style that they're used to. and they've looked very complete as a team. Whereas Origin, we keep seeing them double commit. We haven't really seen them work out. Hunzer hasn't been that player who's been able to create these solo plays. It's had to mostly come from Air Sweeney, and it's really limited Origin's potential. And so I think that Sweeney has had to step up big time, whereas
Yeah.
we haven't had to see many of the individuals from the Blackhawks step up because they've just been so solid as a team.
100%. As Hunzer almost gets a highlight reel goal, but Kosh gonna try to get a demo. Rockerman does well to avoid that one. Perky up with it, trying to air dribble it. Air Sweeney up with that one. Rockerman sends it off the ceiling. Air Sweeney sends it down. Juice gets the ball off the backboard, but Air Sweeney punishes him for a very uncommon Juice mistake.
It's a little bit of a heavy touch. He just not expecting it. He wants the roll up on the back wall just to keep the possession, but it's just gonna pop out perfectly. Air Sweeney gonna take that little bit of a freebie there to give Origin a 1-goal lead. And this is where we will see Origin really step up their aggression and force the Blackhawks into a corner with a 1-goal lead. They can play this aggressive play style that they like and not have to necessarily limit themselves, because if they let up a goal to a counterattack, it's oh well, the game's tied again. But if they're able to score and get an even bigger lead, that's what they're aiming for right now.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. They're just a boa constrictor. They're trying to add on more and more goals to really make the opponents feel like they have no other option. And with this lead right now, this is a very dangerous Origin team. They're very good at keeping a lead, and especially a lead late. As Juice gets a nice 50, Kosh is going to have to race up for that one. Almost beats out Rockerman, but Rockerman, very nice touch. Perky has no boost, gets a decent 50, sends it up to Juice. What a pass from Perky, considering he had no boost. Kosh can't get it past Rockerman. Perky sends it off the backboard. Hunzer, a little awkward. You know, he does the thing that I feel like not a lot of us do anymore. I mean, bring backflips back into relevance, guys. I mean, I love me a good backflip, but it seems like nowadays, I mean, we're just getting too mechanical to have the backflip a fundamental play in Rocket League. And I know you're in the Titan League, Ventus. Do you use the backflip often?
It's usually only occurs when it's on accident and we're trying to go for a fast aerial and then we get scored on. So no, I mean, I can't say that I really use the backflip very much, but I think that it could be utilized in certain occasions, especially when you're keeping the possession or staying in a shadow defense against a player in a 1v1 opportunity, and it allows you to just completely change the momentum and get a good 50.
100%. Origin playing great defense so far, but that doesn't matter because Juice puts it upper decky.
I personally never go upper decky, but I mean, a great shot there coming up by Juice Lo-Fi off of a good pass from Perky. And they tie up the scoring. There's only 1:30 left. We've seen crazy things happen in Forbidden Temple. Do we think Origin can force the game number 5, or do you think Blackhawks will clean out this game and take it down here?
I mean, honestly, they looked really good. I mean, they put on a lot of pressure to get that goal, and I feel like Origin finally cracked. But it's going to take a very, very good shot to get into the back of this Origin net. They've been playing defense so well this entire game, and it doesn't necessarily show on the saves sheet, but they have been up to meet every single challenge the Blackhawks have. As Perky with 0 boost. I mean, I've said that so many times this game. As Juice sends it over, Kosh can't get there. Rockerman, unfortunately, can't make the touch, and it's floating in front of the net. Air Sweeney puts it in the back of the net, and now Origin's up by 1.
A little bit of a change up there coming out by Air Sweeney, and he's kind of he's been the janitor here. He got 2 goals off of a cleanup from a great plays from Hunzer and Rockerman. Hunzer, a great touch, able to read that touch from Rockerman in the corner and able to get a beat on 2, just really forcing the Blackhawks into a difficult time. And I mean, a great play from Origin, showing signs of life, and they didn't even necessarily need that long provided offensive stay. They were just able to make a 1-2-3 happen where they were able to beat all 3 defenders from the Blackhawks and just score very easily. So something rare that we haven't seen much coming up from Origin.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, I did say they have to adjust, and honestly, I was wondering if they were too stubborn to adjust, but they seem to really embrace the adjustment and really work around it. I mean, they kind of sat back a little bit, played the counterattack, and it seemed to work for them. As the ball is floating up, can Perky make a play? Juice sends it off the backboard. Hunter tries to get it to the ground. Kosh, a nice touch. Rockerman maybe to the ground. It still popped up in the air. Hunter finally sends it to the ground. And you know what? I expected this game to go to a game 5. So why don't we take it to Champions Field here, Ventus?
Yeah, I'd just like to point out that going into this game, Rockerman did say that he wanted the server reset after this game, just having the confidence that they're able to win game number 4 and force a game number 5. Very, very good to see from the side of Origin, especially when we are looking for the content to force the game 5. I mean, such back and forth. I mean, we both predicted a game 5 is very likely to occur with both these teams being such high caliber in the Prospect League. And I couldn't ask for a better match, and I'm just excited once again to get a game 5.
Yeah, it seems like it was just destined to happen at this point. As we get the server reset, players are slowly making their way back to the pitch. But I got to ask for one final time, Ventus. I know Kosh is on your fantasy team. I know you want the Blackhawks to win, but do you genuinely think they're going to win this series?
Well, so the funny thing is, I actually also have Rockerman on my fantasy team, and I completely forgot
Oh,
about that until just now. So I still think I'm
Rockerman,
gonna
ban
go
him,
with
ban
my
him.
original prediction. I can't switch it up now. I've got to stay with the Blackhawks. Said it from the beginning that they were gonna win in a game 5 fashion. I got to see it through to the very end.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, the disrespect to Rocker. I mean, you didn't know the GOAT was on your roster. Come on, let's be honest. Here's Rockerman, a great fake. He puts one in early to give Origin a very nice lead here.
Very, very big. A little bit of a miss play from Lo-Fi on the kickoff. Kind of not sure what he was planning on going for there. Rockman gonna pick up the loose ball in the midfield and just fake out that last defender, giving an Origin an early 1-0 lead. And once again, Origin and the kickoffs strike again.
Yeah, 100%. You know, it's just a common theme at this point. Perky already down the field. Unfortunately, can't get to that one. Kosh gets one. It's behind Rockerman. It's very awkward, but Hunzer doing well to assist his teammate. This might be kind of an open net. He just has to get it past Perky. A nice flick from Hunzer. You know, I know he has a CP30 skin on, but like his flicks are so robotic. They're so like perfect. I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's like kind of like an AI doing a flick. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, he just looks incredible given those passes, and he's a great facilitator, but he has to be a great defender. As a beautiful save coming out from him, but he has zero boost to work with. Juice pops it higher. Sweeney gonna be there to meet it. It's off the sidewall. Perky can't get that one. Rockerman up with it, but Kosh is going to beat him out. It's floating towards the backboard. Perky, a nice touch. Air Sweeney, an even better one. And now Kosh, with a little bit of boost and some time, tries to bump out Hunter, but Perky, a chance of his own, can't get it to go. And this Origin team, again, just parking the bus a little bit here. Can Blackhawks maybe get a goal here? They're going to need one if they're going to want to win this series, that's for sure, as Rockerman sends it up. And, you know, both these teams, it seems like they're just going blow for blow, except for that kickoff goal. I mean, it's anyone's game.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen Blackhawks majority have the pressure and force the Origin to play a little bit differently than we've seen. A lot of more defense. But Origin, once again, have been able to keep in that midfield a good save coming out by Kosh, beating out that attacker in Hunzer. And, I mean, both teams look very poised to potentially win this game.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks great overall as Kosh can't get that one in the back of the net. Juice trying to pass it to one of his teammates, can't get it to go. Hunzer, beautiful defense from him. Rockerman just diving towards that 100 boost, and he gets it. Kosh, a nice 50 from him. He sends it off the sidewall. Rockerman and Hunter up for that one. Perky has to punish this, and he does. Kosh sends it out to no one, and now Air Sweeney down the field. Juice with no boost. He has to pop this one in the air, and now Rockerman sends it down. This one might be on target, but a great save by Perky. But wait, this could be bad, but Perky gets back to that one just in time, and a terrible rebound for the side of Blackhawks actually turns into a very miraculous save from Perky.
It looked like Hunter just not able to get a lot of power on that shot. He kind of hit it with his purse. and unfortunately, it's just going to allow Perky the ability to make that save. But a miss coming out by Kosh is going to force Juice Lo-Fi into a save of his own. Luckily, he's going to get that one, but the pressure's starting to mount for Origin. We've seen this time and time again. They've been able to constrict them in the midfield. They've been able to starve them for boost, but luckily, the Blackhawks able to break out of their half. But this game, very back and forth. Both teams do not want to give a single inch of space to the other.
Yeah, I don't blame either one of them. I mean, both teams so talented. The ball is just kind of floating there. Rockerman gets to it first. It's up in the air. Juice beats out Rockerman, and now the ball in a dangerous spot for Origin, but it seems to always be in a dangerous spot for them, and they get away relatively unscathed. But Hunter, a miss. Rockerman gets it off the backboard. Air Sweeney going to be there to help his teammate out. Sends it towards the net, and Air Sweeney upper right banger.
Yeah, top corner, perfectly placed, a good beat on, or a good 50 on Juice Lo-Fi, and then able to get back to it, able to use the rest of his boost, just perfectly place it right above Kosh. Kosh having to wait to see where the shot was going to be, and with as much power as Air Spinny was able to generate, unfortunately, he just was not able to make that save.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a great play overall. As oh my goodness, Juice almost having a great play of his own. Seems like both these teams just want that highlight reel goal. Unfortunately, it hasn't happened yet. Both defenses are incredible. Kosh sends it across. Perky up with it. He has to score this one. Can't find the back of the net. Juice gonna fake out his teammate, and now this is very bad, especially against Origin. The 2v1 is gonna go the way of Origin, and Air Sweeney absolutely dominating in this game 5.
Yeah, and Juice Lo-Fi trying to get a little bit of a back pass to Kosh, but Kosh trying to keep up that pressure. A bit of a miscommunication, and then Juice Lo-Fi gonna end up hitting it past him, putting himself in that super awkward position. And I mean, unfortunately, that comes directly after Perky's was not able to get a fairly open shot on target. So just a blunder of a time coming out from the Blackhawks.
Yeah, I mean, the worst time you want to make a mistake is game 5, but Perky gonna get one back. That is a much necessary goal if they're gonna want to maybe come back into this one.
Yeah, the earlier you can uh, close the lead, the better. The more time you have towards the end of a series, just to make up those goals. Now it's a 2 goal difference in 45 seconds versus a 3 goal in a minute. So a very much more doable.
Oh,
But unfortunately, Kosh not going to be able to rip that shot on target, and we have just seen the Blackhawks not uh, live up to their offense in Game 5 and really squandered the potential of a comeback. It's still possible, but it's very difficult.
yeah, I mean, especially since Origin's defending so well. You know how I know they're defending so well? Blackhawks have been in their half for majority of this game, and they only have one save. Only one shot has made it to the net. So they are getting up there and challenging everything that comes at them. Air Sweeney gonna dribble it. Perky tries to get a 50, and I think this is all but over. Air Sweeney, the man himself, trying to get another one. Hunter, maybe one for the road. Rockerman tries to put one in the back of the net. Not gonna go. And Origin takes it in game 5 in a very thrilling fashion.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't ask for a better matchup. Both these teams came to play. Origin faltered in the middle, but they were able to clean up their act, win games 4 and 5, and were able to take the win and solidify themselves as that 1 seed. I mean, overall, just a great series. I really liked a lot of the Blackhawks plays and what they were able to accomplish, especially in those games 2 and 3. But unfortunately, just was not enough. They weren't able to sustain that, and we started to see some cracks in their armor as they started to make a few too many mistakes in Game 5. But this is a matchup I would love to see come postseason time.
Yeah, 100%. It seems like both of these squads very good, and honestly, Blackhawks do have a lot to work on. They are playing with a relatively new teammate picked up around like 2 3 weeks ago, so they still have some time to grow, still have some time to learn. But we're running a little bit behind time, so I'm going to send it back to the studio once again. But thank you, Ventus, for casting with me. It's always a pleasure to be in the booth with you.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for. It's always a blast when I see Gallium as my casting buddy. But we have the Blaze versus who are the Blaze playing?
Chimeras.
Chimeras coming up next. We are taking a quick break. You do not want to miss it.
Peace.